sometimes if we're ever in front of the fridge and you're like, I'm hungry, but there's nothing that I want. You open the cupboard, I'm hungry, but there's nothing that I want. Then honey, you're not hungry, you're bored. Go do something, right? It becomes a habit. You just keep doing the thing, but nothing's changing. Then you're not really hungry. Maybe you're thirsty and you're bored. Go take a walk, right? Go do something else. Get out of that environment. Change your environment, right? These are all things that you start to pay attention to because it'll shift that. First of all, I'm hoping it'll start to really help you ask yourself different questions, right? Tony Robbins always says this, the quality of your life depends on the quality of your questions. So what are you asking yourself, right? Ask yourself the right questions like, I'm curious how I got here. I'm curious what happens if I do this. I'm curious if, and just start to do experiments on yourself from a place of really wanting to improve this relationship. So that, because literally this food noise, it doesn't have to take up as much space as it has in your life, and there is a way to get to a point where you can quiet it or completely shut it out. And I'm living proof, and I have clients that are living proof. Some people, they're still going to have some food noise, but it's never going to be to the extent it was because they are managing these things, right? They're really they're focusing on what their self-talk is. They're understanding that there's always an abundance of food, so they can have the thing or not have the thing. They're working on their moderation, right? They're really paying attention to how things shift if they do decide to have the thing. One of the exercises that I do with certain clients is I ask them what their food rules are, and then I tell them to go eat something that they have a rule against eating, to just change that thought process. Take your power back. Now, I'm somebody who used to identify as a chocoholic. Well, if I identify as that, then I'm going to show up as that. So I'm going to have behaviors like that, right? So where's my power? Where now I just say, okay, I want a piece of chocolate. I have a piece of chocolate. It's not the end of the world. I don't deny it and I don't make it mean anything, but I'm also paying attention to how I'm showing up in it. Let me know if this is making any sense. You don't have to be afraid of food. You don't have to have this FOMO, fear of missing out. You don't have to beat yourself up. Another thing, if you do eat any of these things, then the next thing is to work on that self-talk. Are you beating yourself up? Because again, you're flooding your nervous system with all these stress hormones. Instead, it's okay, you didn't mess up. You just had a human experience. This doesn't have to mean anything. I know for myself, when I used to beat myself up, I would beat myself up. I would skip meals. I would do all the things. And it gave me nothing. It gave me nothing. Now it's cool, I enjoyed this. And there's such a thing as, it's called the cephalic digestive response. I think I'll end on this because I feel the more knowledge we have to understand something, the more we can change that relationship with that something, and we just let whatever simmer, maybe save this video and come back to it, listen to it again and see if something else lands. But the cephalic digestive response starts even before you start digesting your food. It starts with the experience. First of all, it starts with the experience. What does the experience look like? How is it all presented on your plate? Or in your bowl or in your cup or whatever. What does it look like? What does it smell like, right? That your digestion starts there. And then you put the food in your mouth and then it's going to start to digest in your mouth. And 60% of the way that we metabolize our food starts from this cephalic digestive response. And it looks like this. If I'm eating something and my self-talk is, this is good food, my body stays calm, my nervous system is not flushed with all these stress hormones, my body will metabolize and use the nutrients as such. But if I eat something and my self-talk is, this is bad, I shouldn't be eating this, then I'm going to start eating it faster, I'm going to start chewing it faster, I'm going to try to shove it and get rid of the evidence, right? And what's being created is my nervous system now becomes stressed. My nervous system becomes under this fight or flight, freeze, fawn response, right? And it's going to stop digesting the nutrients. It's going to store it because it doesn't know if we're going to be attacked by a saber-toothed tiger, right? Again, the mind. Is this reality or fantasy? And so it's really important to pay attention, like how are you showing up in your relationship to food? Everything is related. And so the cephalic digestive response is 60% of what you're eating gets digested, and it's going to take the nutrients, it's going to do what it needs to. But if you're stressing your body out, so it's super important. I'm going to say, like, take some time, listen to this video again. Want me to go deeper on certain topics, question how you're showing up in your life regarding this relationship, and see what changes. You know what I mean? I'm gonna leave it at that. I am gonna now go and make my bedtime snack, and I'm really grateful I was here. I am so grateful for all the subscribers that I have so far. Super, super grateful that you're here. Let me know how this went. Love you all. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, remember, be brave, be bold, be you.